It's Monday, May 6th. This is an end of the day SPY recap. And to start the week, we end up on the daily chart with a 2-up green bar. We stayed above the midpoint of the prior day. We stayed above the pre-market range between the blue lines. Price went up pretty much all session long, which we'll get to in a minute. And we hit our targets, which on the weekly chart here, after closing with a strong weekly hammer bar, the key thing here is you were kind of expecting higher. There was the possibility of a failure right out of the gates, but since we opened up above the pre-market highs and gapped up, you knew the failure wasn't taking place. And therefore, on this inside bar here, from 2 weeks ago, breaking out above that, you're kind of looking at this bar right here as the target. Now that we've hit that, we'll see if we get up higher, to this target and this target. In the end, we're expecting a quarterly, highs to be taken out, all-time highs up here. So, at some point until this weekly chart reverses, we're anticipating heading up there. Now we're a little bit of maybe short-term exhaustion risk. The key thing here, context-wise, was last week, right here on this day, Thursday, we kind of saw that shooter bar followed by a hammer bar. That was the first sign that things were really changing, and I discussed that on a recap video. At that point, we were coming to the end of the month. The monthly chart was red with a buying tail, and then we were opening this new month green above the purple line. So this month, you can see the way it's already starting nicely higher in line with a big picture trend that's up. This looks like more and more it's just a 1 month pause, and now we're heading higher. And as long as we stay above that open for the rest of the month, we're biased to the upside, even if there are a few down days or red days in there. As long as we kind of hold that area, we'll continue to expect higher and look for actionable signals. In terms of the weekly chart, now we have the open today, which is kind of near the pre-market highs. So as long as we stay above there, even though we're a little exhaustion risk, we'll still expect higher. And if we can get below there, maybe we get in a little conflict where the weekly chart turns down, but the monthly, somewhere down here, but the monthly chart is, still up if we're above this purple line. So anything down would be exciting to, look for an eventual actionable signal back to the upside. So we'll see if we get there. But for now, we might just get momentum continued to our, targets here and here and here. We'll find that out day after day. Again, today was an interesting day in the sense that was that doji bar on Friday here that was at the top of this range, and I guess it was possible we could have started with a strong 2-down day and went right back into this range I identified and come down to the lows. And that was the only, even though, everything was up, continuity-wise, maybe we could have started a reversal to test that monthly open to the downside if things would have went down. But instead, things gap right up in line with our expectations. And you can see here on the 15-minute chart, first bar was green above the pre-market highs, went up, paused. I shot a video kind of in here, a morning update explaining how, the trend was still up, and it is possible at this point maybe we'll take out liquidity before heading higher, maybe not. This little green bar in here was kind of an inside bar. If you want to judge that as the secondary trade up here, it really was just two inside bars. It went up and immediately came back through the range, took out the liquidity, and this was really the actionable signal, in terms of, this taking out this liquidity, holding the midpoint of the first bar, and then reversing to the upside to buy that secondary move to take out the highs of the day. And then we eventually, paused and just kept going up all session, long. So there was nothing here at all that reversed you to the downside looking to take out that first bar low in any way, shape, or form. So again, even let's just say I wasn't trading the indexes, but if you were and looked at that as secondary move, I guess you could have maybe gotten right in, right out, and then waited and then re-entered right here, and then you could have captured a lot of that move to the upside depending on how you wanted to play it. The key thing being is that I was expecting this high to be hit, which was 515.30, and that was kind of right up in here. So that was kind of your target on the day if things weren't going to fail. So sometimes price, just moves nicely in one direction. Sometimes it quickly takes out a little liquidity, but as long as the structure, stays to the upside, which it was holding above the midpoint of the first bar, there was no reason to even, think the thing was going down and then eventually hit this target. That was a logical pause area, but then you got that. See, here's a much better looking signal. We get the 2 down, 2 up green bar. That kind of signals you're going to then make a push to, whatever that recent swing high was, versus this kind of green bar is more inside. It could have continued up, obviously, but I like these, two down, two up type things, especially when it takes out liquidity in an overall uptrend. That's even a more powerful indication it's going to, it was just a false move and it's going to head higher. So anyway, that was today's price action, easily to the upside, however you wanted to play it. A lot of stocks moved up nicely, and now we get to see, if we hold the midpoint of this bar, we can head up again tomorrow. Little exhaustion risk, so we're just going to have to go day by day now, and you can continue to play the momentum to the upside if it unfolds. I think an ideal setup would be an actionable signal that pauses and pulls back a little bit and then starts up in line with the continuity. So we'll have to see where the rest of the week goes, but at least we have our context now of the open of the week and the open of the month and everything else. And as long as we kind of hold above those two levels, we're heading higher. Should we fail, I still think we'd look for an actionable signal to the upside. That could be a very powerful kind of signal to the upside. So it's not like you have to trade every single day with this. You can wait patiently for actionable signals, but since things are really, this was a big change day and we're only 2 days into it and we could be heading all the way up there, I'm going to stay aggressive to the buy side until, things might change. So anyway, that's the first day of the week, everything to the upside as anticipated, and we'll just see how the rest of the week unfolds.